Greetings, booktubers, and welcome back to Grammaticus Books. And today we're going to be talking about an absolutely delightful tale. We're talking about Smith of Major Wootten, written by J.R.R. Tolkien, published in 1967, and it is the last fictional story written by J.R.R. Tolkien, published prior to his death. So it's published after his fantastic epic works of fantasy, The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, that secured him international fame and recognition as the master of epic fantasy. And even though it's published after those works and he's established his reputation, this book here, this little short story, is relatively unknown here in the year 2025. And we're going to talk about that. Why is this book relatively unknown? And we're also going to go into the story itself because it is a delightful little tale here, Smith of Major Wootten. There will be some spoilers going forward. And then we're going to address the controversy that is attached to this story. Now, when I say controversy, I don't mean that J.R.R. Tolkien put something of an objectionable nature into this book. Instead, you've got Tolkien scholars that are trying to impart all types of things and all types of symbolism into the book. And we're going to look at that and see if it's accurate and if it's not. And we're going to lay that controversy to rest. Because if there's one thing that we can do here on this channel, it is lay controversies to rest. And we're going to do that here today, or we're going to try anyway. So why is this book relatively unknown in the year 2025? All right, so first let's talk about the book itself, this copy that I'm holding in my hand, because it is a nice little edition of it. This is Ballantine Books from 1969, and it is illustrated by Pauline Baynes. It's lavishly illustrated by Pauline Baynes. Pauline Baynes does the cover on here. You've got a nice little sort of medieval etching style on the back, and the entire book is illustrated in an old medieval style, in a style that's very reminiscent of the Bayeux Tapestry. It's very charming and it complements the story of Smith of Major Wootten very well. I'll show you guys just a couple of examples of her drawings. So she takes scenes out of the story, illustrates them, and it's really well done. I like how it complements the story quite well. But the story itself, why is it not well known here in the year 2025? Why is this a relatively unknown book by the master of epic fantasy, J.R.R. Tolkien? And the answer to that question is quite simple, and that's because it is not dealing with the world of Middle-earth. It is not a Lord of the Rings story. It comes out in 1967, and people are looking for more Lord of the Rings, and this doesn't deliver it. Instead, this is a story about medieval England. It's about a boy in medieval England and the world of Faery. And it's completely separate from the Lord of the Rings, and because of that, it didn't get the traction that his other books got. Even the Silmarillion, published in 1977 after his death, that book gets a lot of attention here today because it is Lord of the Rings. And this book, which wasn't, has fallen by the wayside. And that is an absolute shame because it is an absolutely wonderful tale. So what is the tale of Smith of Major Wootten? Well, quite simply put, like I said, it is the tale of a journey of one boy. It's the hero's journey of this boy living in medieval England in this town of Wootten Major, and his travels into the world of Fae. And what J.R.R. Tolkien is really doing with this story is he's using it as a vehicle to let him go into the world of Faery, into the old world of Faery, not the Walt Disney world of Faery, which is one of the big reasons why I wrote this story, was to bring back the old tales, bring back the old knowledge of the world of Fae that was fading out of popular culture in 1967 when he wrote it, and was being replaced with Walt Disney's version of Faery. And I think that saddened J.R.R. Tolkien quite a bit and was a big reason why he wrote Smith of Major Wootten. So his main character, Smith's son, as a small boy, attends the Feast of the Good Children. This is a feast that happens once every 24 years. It's a festival in Wootten Major where the master baker bakes this enormous cake, and these kids are invited. Only 24 out of the village get to go, and Smith is one of them who gets to attend. And in this ceremony, he gets a slice of this cake, and the cake contains a small bauble, a small star from the world of Faery. And this star acts as his passport for the rest of his life that lets him and allows him to travel into the world of Faery and have these excursions and these adventures over his life that help build him into a better human being, help build him into an adult, and give him all these well-rounded experiences that make him a prominent figure there in the village and give him this hero's journey. And at the end of the story, He comes back after all these adventures that he's had in the world of Faery. And at the end of it, he takes his knowledge and his skills, and he takes his gifts, and he transfers them to the next generation. And so you get this circle of the journey of life. But these stories of his excursions into the world of Faery are absolutely wonderful, wonderfully written prose by a master of prose, J.R.R. Tolkien, that take you into this wonderful world of Fae that is not the current Walt Disney world of Fae. It is a wonderful place. It's a wondrous place. It's a magical place where you can have these magical adventures, but it can also be a very, very dangerous place, and it can be very sorrowful at times as well. And if you are not careful in the world of Fae, in the old world of Fae, you can lose not just your life, you can lose your very soul in that world. And J.R.R. Tolkien brings back that danger and that mysticism and that sense of wonder to the world of Faery that he was, I think, saddened by the loss here in popular culture in 1967. It's a major reason why he writes this book. So let's go on then. That's the story here of Smith of Major Wootten. What is the controversy with it? So the controversy with this book is that there's a lot of Tolkien scholars that impart quite a bit of symbolism, quite a bit of allegory into the short story here by Tolkien. And they say that it actually represents J.R.R. Tolkien's personal journey through life. It's autobiographical. It represents his journey with his writings, his struggle with his writings, a lot of the barriers and challenges that he had to overcome when he was developing his writing, and a lot of the challenges he had to his career while he was at university. And to that, I say, poppycock. They are really reaching. They are really reaching hard to try to draw that much symbolism and that much allegorical content and autobiographical content out of the story. That is not why J.R.R. Tolkien wrote this book. The fact that there might be some chance congruities that line up with his life is purely by chance. If it's autobiographical, it's only autobiographical in the sense that it charts the hero's journey of every person's journey, an adult person's journey through life as they go from a child into adulthood, gain their skills, have their adventures, and then try to impart some of that knowledge onto the next generation. But it's not specific to J.R.R. Tolkien. It's absolute bunk. This book here is J.R.R. Tolkien just entertaining himself, just like he did with Lord of the Rings, using it as a vehicle to take himself into that land that he wanted to go back and visit again himself, and he wanted to share with his audience through his writings. And he does a masterful job of it here in this book. His writing is fantastic. There's often these very clever little passages that he puts in here that you have to read very carefully in order to tease out the true meaning of what he's trying to get at in his story, not from like a symbolic or allegorical sense, but just trying to actually work out what he's saying about the characters in the story. He's writing these very subtle little lines about the character development and the qualities of the people in the book, but you've got to read it very carefully in order to get the most out of it. And then he has these absolutely just wonderful tales of discovery where he's going into the world of Faery that make it a great read. But it is absolutely not autobiographical. J.R.R. Tolkien was famous that he did not like allegory. A lot of people tried to say the same thing about his work, Lord of the Rings, while it was an allegory for the world wars and the rise of Hitler. And he always denied that. And I think if you asked J.R.R. Tolkien about this book, he would deny it as well. It's simply put, it is on the surface, first and foremost, a tale of wonder and a tale of adventure for the land of Faery, the old dark land of Faery. And that's what he wanted to bring back. And that is the goal of this book here. And there's nothing else to it, in my opinion. So that's my opinion on it. Have you read Smith of Major Wootten? What did you think of it? It comes with my highest recommendation. If you like The Hobbit, chances are you will like this. If you're looking for something that's a Lord of the Rings type adventure, this is not that story. This is a fairy tale. It's a very sophisticated fairy tale. It's a fairy tale for adults. It's a journey of wonder and excitement and of sorrow and sadness as well. But I give it absolutely my highest recommendation. I give it a 10 out of 10. If that type of a story sounds like it might be appealing to you, I do recommend this wholeheartedly. But again, put down in the comments section if you've read the story, what you thought of it, what you think of the allegorical element of it. Is there an allegorical element, or has it just been kind of shoehorned in by some of these scholars? I'd like to hear what you guys think. And with that, I'm going to wrap this one up, and I'm going to say take care, be safe, and I'll catch you guys next time.